Okay, so the graph on the screen shows international tourist arrivals between 1950 and 2020. It is a little bit deceiving because, as you can see, Europe looks like they have the least amount at approximately 400 million arrivals in 2006, let's say. Okay? But what it's actually showing is it's not showing how Europe has the least amount here, but instead how Europe owns the largest share of tourist arrivals. So if we look at the graph a little bit more in depth, we'll notice the reason that I got confused actually when I first looked at this is because I thought to myself, how can the Middle East, which is up here around 800 million, how can the Middle East have more tourist arrivals than Europe, which is obviously more tourists go to Europe? And what I realized was, it's like I said, Europe owns the largest share of tourists. So what this shows is, even though Europe is at the bottom, okay, because of the size of the lines shown, that's the actual number. So what you have to do is, if you look here and go across, okay, the Middle East is between about 750 million to 800 million. So there's only about 50 million tourists that are in the Middle East in 2006. Whereas there's 400 million in Europe, okay? The reason that they show it like this is because they want to stack it to make it so that you can see the overall number of tourists worldwide and how it's increased over time. And so don't get confused. Europe doesn't have the least. Actually, Europe has the most. And again, the reason that they show that, like if you look at Southeast Asia here, okay, it's such a small number. But that's more accurate, actually, than you would expect, because it's not that Southeast Asia has 800 million, like it shows over on the left side of the graph there. It's that Southeast Asia is just being stacked on top. And in fact, they have the least amount of tourists in that year. Okay? Let me just ask a few questions. Which is the fastest growing region, do you find?
South Asia.
Which one?
The top one, the right one.
Yeah, it's the highest.
It's like got a steeper incline.
Okay, remember, this is overall arrivals. So it's the total, actually. Okay, so which one is the fastest growing? How would you know which one the fastest growing is?
See how fast the bar increases.
Not how fast the bar increases, how wide. How wide it's increasing. So, in fact, this one is increasing the greatest, right? Because the width of the bar is actually increasing. So, Asia, East Asia and the Pacific would have the fastest increase. Does anyone have any questions on this graph? Okay, what you need to remember, so just to review, what you need to remember is that the trend is that there's an increase over time. Okay? And the pattern, what's the pattern?
Europe has the most.
Europe and America have the most. And that's what's important here. Okay? So, I hope this helps. Is there any other questions on this graph specifically? You guys got it?